Hi, everyone, and a very warm welcome to all of you to this episode of All Things Lean. My name is Madhulika Rajahan, mother, author, green energy enthusiast, and a certified Lean Six Sigma black belt expert. In our last episode about aesthetics, we had loosely mentioned the term Gestalt Principles. Today, we will talk about them in detail and how it works at a more subtle level. So, what are Gestalt Principles? Gestalt principles are principles or laws of human perception that describe how humans group similar elements, recognize patterns, and simplify complex images when we perceive objects. Designers use the principle to organize content on website and other interfaces so it is aesthetically pleasing and easy to understand. Now let's understand a little bit of the background of how Gestalt principles came to be. Gestalt is a term for unified whole. The first Gestalt principles were devised in the year 1920 by German psychologists Max Wertheimer, Cole Kofka, and Wolfgang Kohler, who aimed to understand how humans typically gain meaningful perceptions from the chaotic stimuli around them. They identified a set of laws which address the natural compulsion to find order in disorder. According to this, the mind informs what the eye sees by perceiving a series of individual elements as a whole. Professionals in the then growing industry of graphic design quickly adopted these principles, and designers have since used Gestalt principle extensively to craft designs with well placed elements that catch the eye as larger whole images. According to Kurt Kofka, the whole is other than the sum of the parts. Gestalt principles are an essential part of visual design. There are more than 10 overlapping principles. Four of them are most widely recognized ones, and we will talk about them in today's session. The first one being closure or reification. We prefer complete shapes, so we automatically fill in gaps between elements to perceive a complete image. That's how we can see the whole first. You can apply closure to all sort of imaginative ways to win users' admiration and trust when they recognize pleasing holes in cleverly placed elements, be they lines, dots, or shapes. Segments of pictures, iconic logos such as IBM and World Wildlife Fund are examples of applied closure. IBMs comprising blue horizontal lines arranged in three stacks, the WWFs, consisting of a cluster of black shapes set against a white background to reveal a familiar font of panda. Second is common region. We group elements that are in the same closed region. You include related objects in the same closed area to show they stand apart from other groups. You can see this principle applied in Facebook, for example, where likes, comments, and other interactions appear within the boundaries of one post and so stand apart from the others. The third one being figure or ground or multi-stability. We dislike uncertainty, so we look for solid, stable items. Unless an image is ambiguous, like Rubens' vase, we see its foreground first. You can apply figure or ground in many ways, but chiefly to contrast elements, for example, light text that is in a figure from a dark background that is the ground when you use figure ground well. Alongside other considerations such as careful application of color theory, you will help users in their task and lessen their cognitive load. The fourth and the last element we will talk about today is proximity or emergence. We group close together elements, separating them from others further apart. So when you cluster individual elements into one area or group on your design, users will recognize it as one entity standing distinct from anything else on screen. An example of proximity in design is a Girl Scouts logo, with its three phrases clustered in profile: two green, one white. You can also apply other Gestalt principles in design. For example, continuation, unified correctness, whichever works best to access your user and help them achieve your brand's desired goals. Gestalt principles are in the mind and not in the eye. What we need to understand is the Gestalt principles are vital in user experience design. When you design interfaces, users must be able to understand what they see and find what they want at a glance. The principle of proximity and common region are good examples as our landing pages shown. Colors and graphic divide the page into separate regions. Without this, users would struggle to make associations between unrelated, clustered together items and leave. If your designs, you should never confuse or delay users. Instead, guide them to their options so they can identify with organizations, brands rapidly. Hoping you would be able to make use of Gestalt principle in your work, and do write if you're already using them and share some examples. With this, we come to an end to this edition of All Things Lean. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment in the comment section. And I'd love to hear what you'd like to hear more. Until next time, this is your host, Madhulika Rachahan, signing off. Have a wonderful day ahead.